Can I bribe the referee?
Yeah.
Yeah?
But I think one thing which both of you are saying is narrow it down.
What is your one problem?
Okay.
I call this the problem priority index.
Which is a short, small film, maybe on your iPhone. Give it to your friends and say, give me feedback.
Sometimes the challenge is that we try to apply the same principles to all of them.
I have a chapter in Simple Thinking, the most recent book. It's called Negotiating with a Terrorist. Sending a message that if you don't have those bright ideas, you have no place at the table.
And you can say, I want this relationship to win.
Hello everyone, welcome back to our channel. Tonight we have two very interesting panelists with us. You know, recently I was talking to my team and we came to a conclusion that life is like a game of Jenga. Everybody is making a move, taking some piece out, putting some piece in, and it is completely overwhelming. So we thought, why not invite these two authors who can help us find some answers to the dilemmas of life. So I would like to welcome Surya Ramkumar, who's written a book called A Strategy for Life. She's a business leader with 20 years of work experience. Hello and welcome to the panel.
Thank you.
And of course, the professor is making a comeback on our channel. Professor Sud, welcome to the panel again. His next book, Simple Thinking, is one of the, I would say, the simplest and the purest books which can help you find solutions, actually simple solutions to tackle problems. So hello, thank you both for joining us today.
Thanks, Asa. Thank you.
So we thought, why not we have you both play a game of Jenga while we throw some problems at you. Okay, who wants to make the first move?
All yours.
Okay,
Okay,
all right.
let's go it.
Now, don't bring it down on the first move.
Well,
Butterfingers, butterfingers.
let's see.
All right.
Here it comes down. Watch.
Okay, let's see. But I'm going to go on, all right? So there is the first dilemma that we have gathered. This is a 32-year-old product manager who is overwhelmed right now. Oh, that is smooth. A 32-year-old product manager wants to get promoted, but he also needs to start a side hustle because obviously one income is not enough. He is definitely confused and wants to improve his fitness. He has to also learn AI. He has to grow his personal brand on LinkedIn. And he has to prepare for his upcoming MBA examination.
Oh my gosh.
So,
That's a long laundry list.
the problem is that I'm overwhelmed and I don't know what to focus on. So what would you guys want to suggest this individual?
So my first reaction would be prioritize what you really want to do
Okay.
and make that the first point of a focus strategy.
Okay.
And then once that has been achieved, go to 2 and 3 and 4 and 5.
All right.
And we've talked about that in an earlier book called Leapfrog,
Yeah.
where Warren Buffett is advising his personal pilot on strategies and goals for life and says, distill it down to your top 5 goals, leave the other 20 behind and just focus on the 5.
Right.
As you do that, then you keep moving down.
So what would you suggest should be the primary goal? Get a promotion, start a side business, look after fitness?
Asa, that's his call. He has to
Okay.
prioritize what he wants. Does he want stability? Does he want a more adventurous life, Surya?
Yeah, and so one of the ways in which I help people who face such dilemmas, because I think a lot of people do face this, is something called write a problem statement.
Okay.
Yeah, and it's one of the things I talk about in my book. It's actually the chapter 1 of the book. And that's really about what is your one problem.
Okay.
And I think, it's very easy. Everybody always talks about different problems. And
You made that fall, right?
oh, did I?
Okay, here we go for the
You were
first
breathing
fall.
too hard, Surya.
I mean, the answer was so good that the Jenga had to fall.
So I get a point here? Or she gets a
So
point?
you lose a point.
Oh my.
So do we put it back up?
Yes, come on, we have to continue and you have to keep.
And I'll continue answering the
Yes,
questions.
please.
Because I think,
I'll set this up while you give the answer.
Go ahead.
yeah, so, and I have a 3C process in which you can identify your best problems. So
Okay.
it's really, is it a problem of consequence? Is this something that's going to be important for you? Is this something that is coherent
Okay.
with your life so far, because you don't want to do random things? And, so kind of use specific questions, and there is a set of 10 questions you can use to whittle it down to identify the one problem that really matters.
All right.
Because everything else needs to just kind of help build towards solving that one problem.
Right.
And yeah, I mean, the problem is these days, everybody, you look around, everyone's doing 500 things and you want to do 500
Yeah,
things
it's
as
so
well.
overwhelming. I mean,
Exactly.
everybody is just so much overloaded with information, so it
Yeah.
becomes even more difficult to make a decision.
Exactly.
But I think one thing which both of you are saying is narrow it down. So if you're overwhelmed, you have to sit down, maybe write that problem statement, narrow it down and put a priority list that this is my
Exactly.
first and pure priority. And then probably finalize what you want to focus on.
Exactly. I call this the problem priority index. It's a
Right.
scoring system within 100 points.
Okay, that's very
which,
interesting.
which helps you actually, you score your problems and then it gives you a numerical score and then
Okay.
you can use it to decide
Oh.
whether this is the right problem for you.
I mean, that is actually bang on because if I
Yeah.
can really get a score on which problem
Exactly.
is highest, I'll probably go and solve that first.
Exactly.
So that will really help me identify. Okay, perfect. So there you go. That's the
So
first
I
answer.
call it curate
Okay.
the chaos.
Okay.
So
Oh,
you
wow.
curate. There's so much of information, ideas, suggestions there.
Yeah,
So curate what you think is important to you. And that's a decision only you can take.
absolutely.
Whether it is family, whether it is a job, whether it is
Yeah.
a side hustle, whether it's preparing for the MBA.
Yeah. And can I say that maybe it should also be dependent on your short-term goal? Like, for example, in 2 years, where I want to be, and then you also decide, should you put a duration to this?
I would argue the other way, Surya. I don't know how you
Okay.
feel about it. It should be a long-term goal.
I
Okay.
think so. Somewhere 3 to 5 years is
Yeah,
where I
yeah.
typically go for.
Right.
I think 2 decades ago I would have said we really want to plan long term, but these days I feel like who knows what's going to happen eventually.
yeah.
So
Yes.
somewhere 3 to 5 years feels like
Okay. So keep that one period in mind
Yeah.
while you're doing it. Okay. Professor Sud is going
So
back
now that
at
I'm
it.
one up,
Yeah.
I'm glad we have a referee.
so can I bribe the referee?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. We'll move to the next dilemma. Surya, it's your turn.
I think you have to place it.
Yeah, you have to
Oh,
place
I'm
it.
so
Oh,
sorry.
yes.
Yeah.
Okay. I think he's making it difficult for you. So,
Really.
the next dilemma is that I want to change careers, but I'm terrified. Now, this is the story of a corporate lawyer who hates his current work, but is dreaming of becoming either a founder, a creator, or a filmmaker or a writer. So he wants to go completely different, change his career top down. So
Yeah.
what would you guys tell this guy? And he's saying that he's terrified to start.
I think fear is a good thing.
Okay.
I think, being terrified probably means that he actually deeply cares about it.
Right.
So I would use fear as not so much as I wouldn't want to do this, but as a positive motivator that this
Okay.
is something I care about. Let me actually go and do something about it. But the thing that I like to tell people, and which sometimes people forget, is not changing is often more risky than actually changing. In our world where, he might not have a job the next day, right?
Yeah.
So kind of building something that he's passionate about and taking the risk may not be as risky as it actually sounds, or in fact may even be less risky than staying in a job.
Okay.
So
yeah, so basically change is a constant. So you have to get into it. But what would you say about totally, like he's saying he's a lawyer and he wants to be a filmmaker now. I mean, that's a complete overhaul of what he is able to do. So he'll probably have to start from the very scratch.
yeah.
So
I would disagree there because
Okay.
I have made transitions from being an entrepreneur to then becoming an academic,
right,
and now I'm a writer.
right.
Um,
Absolutely, yeah.
I think you carry a lot of the skills from one profession to the other without realizing it.
Absolutely.
For example, you are teaching as an academic, and I was teaching entrepreneurship. Students value the fact that you've really gone and done something.
Yeah, right.
When you write, you go back to your deepest fears as an academic, your fears as an entrepreneur,
Right.
and that you imbibe them in the character you're writing about. And
Okay.
So I think it spills over from one career to the other.
And maybe the first film he directs is actually about a lawyer.
Yeah.
And it's about a
absolutely.
courtroom drama.
And it's a very good point. I think we all often underestimate how much of skills can carry over from one to the other.
Right.
And maybe another piece of advice is also to start doing small experiments.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
So make a small film by in the it's a side hustle, but make it, and it also helps you be sure that you really like it. So start small, do a few things.
So maybe not leave your job completely and try it as a side hustle, experiment.
But
and see
probably
how
put
it
a
goes.
timeline, because
Okay.
otherwise your
So also
side
put a
hustle is
timeline.
going to be forever.
Yes.
And
Go on forever.
Yeah.
Okay.
In the entrepreneurship world, we call it the lean startup.
Yeah.
You are familiar with that?
Okay.
Where you have what they call a minimum viable product, which is a short, small film, maybe on your iPhone,
Okay. Yeah.
and then give it to your friends and say, give me feedback.
Yeah. Nowadays, just put it on your Instagram or
Or put it on
YouTube
Instagram.
and see how it picks up.
It picks up, and
Right.
if you find 5,000 people like it,
Yeah.
you know you're doing something right.
Right.
Actually, I have an example of it brings another point, which is you may not need to leave the job eventually, right?
Okay.
So I have an example of someone I coached in this book, and he wanted to be a poet. And poetry doesn't earn a lot of money.
Absolutely.
So what eventually, I mean, you have to read the book for the full story, but he figures out a way in which the art and the poetry becomes his main thing, but the job ultimately becomes something that supports it.
Okay.
And I think that's also another way of
Yeah.
thinking about it.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be always this or that.
Yeah,
There
I
is a
mean,
world in which it's and.
It could be like a weekend. Oh, wow.
Ladies,
Professor, you're
please
really going
breathe,
for it.
Please breathe slowly.
Yes, everybody move very slowly.
I have to catch
Okay.
up with Surya.
Yes,
She's
you
one
have
half.
to. Absolutely. Okay, so do you want to make your move?
Now we're all watching.
Yeah.
Can I shake the table a bit? No? Okay.
No cheating.
No shooting.
So, okay, yes. So, to recap what both of the panelists are saying is A, you don't have to completely leave your job. Maybe try it as a side hustle and see how you feel, how you achieve. And there is no age to starting new, so do not worry about that. And maybe read the chapter from Strategy for Life, which is the story of a poet, and you will maybe learn something more. Amazing. Amazing.
Should I?
All right, we have a very complicated life here. This is ready to fall apart. Let's see if it can go on.
Please stop breathing. Yep.
Okay,
All right.
no movement to happen here. Nothing can be done. Okay, Surya, you're really on a risky turf right now. Okay, let's spend 2 seconds to just.
To breathe.
Okay.
Oh my, oh
It's
my,
done,
oh
it's
my,
done,
oh
it's done.
my.
Wow. I struggle with my relationships constantly, be it the relationship with my spouse, be it a relationship with my coworkers, my parents, constant miscommunications, and every conversation becomes defensive. So, how does one person who's struggling with relationships really work out ways in which they are communicating better, or what is that one thing that they need to do so that this whole big jumble of relationships that they are in, and there are many types, right? So my relationship with my spouse is very different from my relationship with my colleagues, obviously.
Yeah.
And my boss is very different from my best friend at workplace versus my best friend in a club.
Yeah.
So relationships are very complicated. So how does one who's failing constantly at relationships deal with this?
So thank you for the question, Asta, because there is a chapter in the book, Strategy for Life, chapter 6, which is my favorite chapter of all. And that
Okay.
talks about relationships.
Oh, okay.
And what I've tried to do is, like you said, there are different kinds of relationships. And sometimes the challenge is that we try to apply the same principles to all of them,
Okay.
right? Or maybe we have one way of relating and then we are trying to do it across all of it. And some work and many don't.
All right.
So I have a framework called SCRIPT,
Okay.
SCRIPT.
Okay.
S is for support, C is for community, R reflection, and so on. And what it helps you do is identify the kind of relationships that you need in your life, and how to, it's kind of really figuring out, are you applying the right approach to the right relationship,
Okay.
right? So you don't have a one size fits all, but really
Right.
start with understanding what is this relationship,
Okay.
and then, really try to go deeper into it.
So you're saying that obviously my relationship with my colleague is very different from my
Yeah.
relationship with my spouse. So I need to
Exactly.
decide which kind of relationship which I want to have with both of them.
Yeah.
So with a colleague, it probably will be a bit formal.
Yeah.
And with my spouse, it'll be completely personal
I
and
would-
informal.
I would also go a bit more nuanced than that,
Okay.
right? So, because even when you say colleague,
Yeah.
within the office, you have multiple kinds of relationships
Absolutely.
with your colleagues.
Hmm.
Some of them are your mentors.
Hmm.
Some are people who you inspire you,
Hmm.
right? And some are just transactional relationships. You don't,
Right.
you need to do something, they do something for you.
Okay.
So I think it's also about sort of going deeper
Hmm.
than that superficial layer of sort of colleagues' work versus family, but really into the depth of what sort of relationship, what am I, what am I looking for in
Right.
this relationship, and how do I then approach it?
Okay. So, what am I looking for in a relationship is something which I need to see from an objective lens.
Yeah.
And then decide how I want to approach it.
And also be self-aware of how you
Right.
are yourself in a
Mm.
relationship, right? Because
Okay,
often when
that's
there are
interesting.
problems,
Mm.
our first instinct is to say, what is the other person doing? But it's always a interaction. People react to how you are.
Yeah.
So it's also about sort of
Okay. So
I have a chapter in Simple Thinking, the most recent book. It's called Negotiating with a Terrorist.
oh wow.
And we learned from the FBI how the FBI adopted an earlier policy
Okay.
where they would just wait till they had an opportunity to shoot the terrorist.
Okay.
They then, a court case went to court,
Hmm.
the FBI was fined,
Hmm.
and they said, no, we have to now rethink how we talk to people who are armed and willing to take their life.
Right.
And one thing that emerges in the chapter is this whole thing called active listening.
Okay.
We normally listen and we patiently wait for a gap in the conversation to again project our point of view.
Right.
But if we actively listen and we articulate what the other person is saying by repeating what they are saying, which is one part of active listening, then the other person is a lot more satisfied with having passed on their idea or their thought to you. And then they are a lot more open to what you're going to say.
Oh.
So there's a lot in the chapter, a number of stories. And
win the argument
Yeah.
to just understanding the argument, there'll be a massive change in where the relationship evolves.
exactly.
Okay, interesting. And I have another little sidestep dwelling into this.
Okay.
My turn.
So, you see, there is also a cycle here. If I have a bad relationship with somebody at my house and then I take that to my workplace, do you think my bad relationship also reflects on my relationship that I have in my workplace? Can that be one of the reasons why you're constantly facing a tense environment around you? That if you have a very tense relationship with your partner at home or with your parents at home and you bring that to the workplace, the tension continues?
Right. It's very hard to silo your life that, I have this at home, and then when I come to work, I'm a completely different person. I mean, if you fought with your spouse in the morning, it's only natural that you carry it to your work.
Right.
I think, but the approach for both of it is the same. Let's go to a place of not trying to win one or the other, but, just be collaborative. How do we win this together?
Right.
And there's an interesting concept I like, which is you don't necessarily, so there are two individuals in a fight, but there's also something which is actually the relationship. You can almost think of that relationship as a third person.
Okay.
And you can say, I want this relationship to win. All right? It's
Right.
not so much A or B who needs to win, but do you want this relationship to win?
Right.
And then approaching that in that mindset puts both of you in a different space.
Right. Of course. I mean, at the end of the day, if the relationship wins,
Yeah,
everybody wins.
exactly.
So any kind of relationship that can be it, be with your manager, be it with your spouse, be it
Okay.
with your...
Oh, my turn
Wow.
again?
Oh,
yeah,
yes. The
that's,
professor has really upped the game.
You like the tall ones up there.
I'm trying to make it difficult for you, Surya, but I think you throw the challenge back to me
Oh, do I?
and becomes it difficult for me.
I'm focused on the questions.
Whoa!
I'm sorry.
So there you go. If you are facing a team which is right now feeling dysfunctional, instill the growth mindset, or I would say read these books, because both of these books have great ideas and great answers to finding solutions to all your dilemmas. And thank you both. Thank you, Professor. Thank you, Surya, for coming on today. It was wonderful having you guys answer and play that game. And what's the final score? So do we know what's the final score, anybody? I think you won. This fell twice because of you.
You know what? The second time, I think it happened a little after
Yeah.
her move. So let's
Okay.
say we are quits.
Oh, so then we're almost even because each of you made it fall 1 once each. Okay, so we are even. Let's say Surya and Professor were able to balance the life well. And that's something which we should all learn to do today.
Thank you, Asta. Thank you
Thank
very
you
much
so
for a
much for-
fun evening.
And whoever wants to get the books, the links are in the description. Please do share and like this video. We will come up with more such panels. And don't forget to subscribe to our channel. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.